I always thought funerals were the hardest part. I was wrong. The hardest part was the reading of the will. That's the day my sister stopped being my sister. That's the day my uncle showed his true face. And that's the day I realized money doesn't just divide assets, it divides blood. If you think your family would never fight over inheritance, I used to believe that too, until the lawyer opened the envelope. Until everything exploded. Perfect family. We weren't rich, just a normal upper-middle-class family in suburban America. Sunday barbecues, Christmas traditions, annual beach trips. My dad built everything from nothing. A small construction company. Long hours, rough hands, quiet strength. He used to tell us, everything I build is for you kids. There were 3 of us. I was the responsible one. My older sister, confident, persuasive, always knew how to win an argument. And my younger brother, the emotional one, the baby. We weren't perfect, but we were close. At least, that's what I thought. The illness. The diagnosis came fast. Pancreatic cancer, stage 4. 6 months, maybe less. And just like that, everything changed. My sister started visiting every day. My uncle suddenly became very involved. Conversations stopped when I entered the room. At first, I blamed myself. Grief does strange things to your mind. But one night, Dad grabbed my hand. He looked at me differently. And he said, "No matter what happens, stay calm." I didn't understand, not then. I understood 2 weeks after the funeral. The lawyer's office. We met in a downtown law office. Cold air, dark wood table, leather chairs, the kind of room where life-changing decisions are made quietly. The lawyer placed a thick envelope in front of him. My sister looked confident. Too confident. My brother looked nervous. My uncle leaned back like he was watching a show. The lawyer cleared his throat. This is the last will and testament. And that's when everything shifted. The shock. The house went entirely to my sister. The construction company was transferred to my uncle as interim manager. The savings account split unevenly. I received less than half of what my sister did. My younger brother received the smallest share. Silence filled the room. Then my brother whispered, "This isn't right." He was right. Dad wasn't a lot of things, but unfair? Never. Then came the final sentence. There is an amendment dated 1 week prior to his passing. 1 week, when he could barely speak, when he was heavily medicated. That's when my heart started racing. The explosion. I asked the lawyer who was present when this was signed. He adjusted his glasses. Myself, your sister, and your uncle. My brother stood up immediately. "You manipulated him." My sister slammed her hand on the table. "How dare you?" Voices rose, accusations flew, but my uncle remained calm, too calm. He said, "Your father knew who was capable of handling responsibility." That sentence hit harder than anything else, because I had worked beside my dad for 10 years, and now it was gone. Not to me, but to someone who never believed in me. The room turned into a battlefield. No fists, just words sharp enough to cut through blood ties. The voicemail. 2 days later, my brother called me. He had something, a voicemail, from Dad, 3 days before he died. His voice was weak, but clear. "If anything changes suddenly, it's not from me." That voicemail changed everything. The legal war. We hired another attorney. The amendment's signature looked different, shaky, forced. What followed was a year-long legal battle. Depositions, court hearings, cold stares at family gatherings. Money drained, energy drained, love drained. Was it worth it?
I asked myself that every night, but it stopped being about money. It became about truth. It became about my father's voice. The verdict. The court ruled the amendment invalid, lack of capacity, questionable execution. The original will stood, equal distribution. We won. But here's the truth nobody talks about. Even when you win inheritance battles, you lose something bigger. Ending. I haven't spoken to my sister in 2 years. My uncle disappeared from our lives. Family dinners stopped. Holidays feel smaller now. We got the money, but we lost each other. So if your parents are still alive, have the conversation now. Talk about the will. Talk about expectations. Talk about fairness. Because silence is where inheritance wars begin. And trust me, the day you read the will might not just divide property, it might divide your family forever. If your family sat in a lawyer's office tomorrow, would you trust everyone in that room? Tell me in the comments. And if you believe families should talk about inheritance openly, share this video, because someone out there might be one envelope away from losing everything.